All right, what's going on, boys and girls? So we're here with another video, and this time we're looking at 10 games under $5 to play on Linux, not just the $10 limit like we did on the last one. And this one is going to be more of a better mix of native and proton and stuff as opposed to the last one, which was mostly proton based games. But let's roll into it. So first up, we have Alien Rage Unlimited. This is a score 'em up first person shooter, mass explosions, multiple weapons, multiple different fire modes, etc. If you like to shoot things in the face with really big guns and watch really big explosions, this is your game to play and get really high scores while doing it all. This game is $1.99 and it's gold on Proton. Next up, we have a game called Dead Core. Dead Core is a puzzle-based, Portal-inspired game, but it's got like a cyberpunk vibe to it, which is really cool. A lot of neon lights and that kind of stuff. But if you want to do like speed runs, if you enjoy games like Portal and the various other aspects of those kind of games, Dead Core is definitely a different flavor of game to play, but is really worth it. This game goes for $2.49 right now, and it is native on Linux. Next up, we have probably one of my most favorite, I use the term walking simulator very kind of loosely, but one of my favorite things about this game, Valley, is the steampunk inspired like world alternate history of World War II. And it's a interesting take because you have a mech suit of sorts that is very much gameplay related, but you also have the ability to steal life from one thing, an animal, a tree, and give it to another to solve puzzles and that kind of stuff. Really cool, really beautiful game, especially if you like the atmosphere of it. Definitely something I would totally recommend, and the Valley goes for $2.99 right now because of the Steam Summer Sale, and it is native. And the next game we have on the list is one called A Story About My Uncle. This is very much in the same vein as Valley, but this also has more of a mix of Dead Core to it as well. It's got a fantasy puzzle walking simulator, but it's about momentum. It's a really cool game. I actually really enjoy it. This goes for about $3.74 right now, and it's a native Linux game. Next up, we have Satellite Rain. This is easily a squad-based XCOM game. This is the best way to describe this particular game. Different jobs, different profiles for characters, etc. It's a cyberpunk inspired, so it's kind of futuristic in that regard. But if you like XCOM or squad-based tactical, like espionage type games, very well worth getting. It's not heavy on the story, but that's not what this type of game is really about. This goes for $4.49 right now, and it is native on Linux. And next up, we have King of Fighters 13. Fighting games, you know, there's Tekken and all these other games that are out there, but I think King of Fighters never gets enough credit for the series that it is. Really good art style, really anime inspired as far as like the combat and the fluidity of the combat. Really one of those underappreciated games that never get a lot of love, and I don't know why, but it is hella good. Online works, everything works for it. This is $4.99 currently, and it's rated platinum when using it for Proton. And next up, we have a game called The Descendant. This is an episodic game, stack of games, I guess. It is episodes 1 through 5. You play in two different eras of this particular time frame with two different characters, a descendant of one of the other characters, hence the name. What I really like about this, though, is the way it goes about the storytelling. It's different. It's not the same. You're not the big bad hero that's out to save the world. It is definitely a unique story within and of itself. And if you like that telltale episodic kind of gameplay experience, that is very much what you're going to get with this. The Descendant is $2.99 for all 5 episodes, and it's rated platinum on Proton. Next up, if you want your third-person action games, your duck and covers, your very much, if you want your Gears of War inspired games, robots have taken over Japan. You can blow away their arms. You can still see them come in and crawl on the ground and attack you. It's a great game. It is called Binary Domain. Your choices and how you interact with and treat your squad mates actually affects certain aspects of the story, which is really cool. There's voice commands and that kind of stuff that does work, kinda. That's more of a limitation of the game. As a third-person action game, though, it is still really, really good. It is currently $2.99 and it's rated platinum for Proton. And next up, this one might be a little divisive, and that's okay, but this particular game is 1979 Revolution Black Friday. This deals with the 1979 Iranian Revolution. The particular thing that I like about this game is it's done by someone who was from that time period, but it also shows the different groups and different thought processes of all these different groups coming together, and how it's not as clear cut as why it happened. And it gives a really unique perspective to that whole situation. So if you like that kind of episode and thought process, decisions matter. How you interact with characters matters. Like all that stuff matters, and what groups you fall in, end up falling into. It's a really personal story, which makes it really, really good. So this is $2.99 and it's rated platinum on Proton. And the last game that we have on this particular list is Fear Effect Sedna. This is a Fear Effect game, similar, Rain. All those characters are back, but it is a very, very different game. This is almost a plannable twin stick shooter, but it's also a tactical strategy game. It's a very weird combination compared to the earlier Fear Effect. If you like Fear Effect, this is a game for fans. I will totally say that this is a game for fans, nobody else. So the scores for it do not represent the actual quality of the game. You enjoy the anime vibe that it gives. It's actually really good. The controls are solid. There's nothing gameplay wise that is wrong with this game. For the price though, you cannot say that this is a bad game. Fear Effect Sedna is going for $1.99 and it is rated platinum on Proton right now. And there you go, boys and girls. That is the last video that I'm going to be doing as far as the Steam related summer sales. The reason I'm doing these videos is because I wanted to give you guys kind of you don't have to break the bank to get a game collection or experience games. We tend to think that, I need to spend 60, 100, whatever X amount of money to have these games. No, that is not the case. And the other thing I wanted to show was that there is a wide range of native and Proton enabled games that Linux users now have available at their fingertips if you're willing to explore and go outside of, is it PUBG? Is it, Fortnite? Is it whatever game that it requires easy anti-cheat or battle eye or any of that stuff? Broaden your horizons when it comes to gaming. Don't limit yourself.